Tonight we've got something special for you. Tonight we're gonna expose the ecosystem.
Welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when your head...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take they know a boss is coming.
Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds, yo.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Count it up. That's umbrella guy in the building, run it up. 100K vanish, screenshots vanish. Trust me, bro, contracts, fine print damage. You sold fake dreams, cheap fonts, big schemes. Whole crew talking tough till the light hits the seams. How you flex chrome chains over borrowed bills? Selfie angle hiding them rusted grills. You bought big numbers, but the math don't add. You reimburse every family you scam. You can hide them platinum grills from the truth, from the can, from the real. Yeah, you can flash that metal and square, but the lies and the fraud don't kill. Yeah, that's umbrella guy. Calling names on the set, every bogus claim, every paper thread, all that tough talk typed in caps, and still you can't fight back through the platinum grills. You said we partners, then you pick my pocket, turn friends into figures like a broken stock market. Exclusive access, it was copy paste. Whole contract smelling like panic and haste. You spam fake letters, try to scare the prey. Big law talk on the 10th of mail. You serve weak threats on the kitchen table. You're allergic to evidence, dodging labels at it. You can hide them platinum grills from the truth, from the can, from the real. Yeah, you can flash that metal and square, but the lies and the fraud don't bill. Yeah, that's umbrella guy. Calling names on the set, every bogus claim, every paper thread, all that tough talk, tight thin caps, and still you can't bite back through the platinum grills. 100K gone, screenshots saved. You gon' see every promise replayed, every I swear that you typed that day. Hold in the light, can't fake that shade. Run it back, show receipts. You a ghost when the proof hit the feed. You ain't built for the storm, just tweets. Stay umbrella guy, dragging every dirty deed. You can hide them platinum
All right, what's up, folks? I had to have a little bit longer of an intro. I had to grab some extra screenshots. It's like, man, it has been an interesting last night. You got Stupid Dave, talking about wanting to box people. The man weighs 400 pounds. Like, no joke, not to be rude or mean or anything, just being real. And he put out not one, not two, not 6 or even 10 screenshotable wondrous statements on that. No. We have 4 pages of them in his fantasy about getting in the boxing ring with everybody. Man, that by itself is a fun show by itself. But on top of that, we have Lynette Preston, denying that she ever stated that the Fats had ever called CPS. They also tried to warp the statement of, as usual, as usual. They can never be honest about anything. Like last night, I showed Lynette Preston talking about how, at least she says that 2L had called CPS on her. And of course, they turn that into you mean you've got it? He says he has a call with CPS. Wait, what? So dishonest, man. Tonight also, we have a wonderful clip since Lynette Preston and John Cook want some. They're going to get some. We're going to play you a wonderful clip, about 1 minute and 20 seconds of Lynette Preston just dogging on John Cook, because why not? That would be really fun. That will be one you have never heard, by the way. Oh, there's a lot on today. A lot. And you will enjoy it all. I tell you, it has been just loony over the last day, though. I mean, it's been pretty funny. I've been very entertained. That's above everything. That's kind of what matters, actually being entertained. Oh, on top of that too, Hale's put out some, well, he put out some, let's see, how do I put this? He put out some messages. Maybe I should go with it that way. And they're pretty interesting. Oh, Lord. I mean, I tell you, like, there is always something that is going on with this madness. And most of it is, if not entertaining, it is pretty damn close to it. I find it entertaining. Again, I realize I realize the people that are involved in it probably don't find it entertaining. I also found it entertaining too. John Cook made some pretty nasty allegations about myself last night, which I thought was pretty interesting, considering the dude is already being sued for defamation. You would think maybe he wouldn't want to accuse people of really horrible things and admit that he does that kind of stuff. So where do we begin? Let's begin with funny. I think funny is the best place. So funny would be I want to give Melissa. Here, give me just 1 second. I want to give Melissa credit for this wondrous stream of thought here. This is Miltoast. Miltoast thinking about boxing. That's right. He's wanting to box people. Now, Miltoast recently admitted that he weighed 411 pounds. Now, I'm noting this from a health standard alone. He has lost some weight. He says he's down to about 388 pounds. Okay. Now, that is not healthy. That is like very, very bad. So this idea that he's going to go out and he's going to box people, it's so absurd that they also, these are threats. Take it as it will too. You've got to remember, the people that are throwing this stuff around, they are in the middle of litigation with a guy and they're like, come and fight me. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. You all are in the middle, like I said, of litigation. For me, I'm too old for this. I have health problems. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be very careful about the way I say this, but I take that as a threat. If you were to want to physically come up to me and try to say something, and I'm always strapped. So that is not a threat. That is a statement of fact. So any of these people that are like, I'm going to fight you, man, we're not in this. This isn't fucking middle school, you know. But these people are so redonkulous. I swear. They're being sued and yet. So let's look at some of these statements here because they are absurd. All right. So Miltos starts out and he's saying, just saying, I'm getting fit. And I'd love to be an undercard, you know, because the overcard, the bout itself, they want Jeremy Hales to fight Gabe. Gabe has been like, fight me for charity. And I'm like, you know, Jeremy's a big dude. Like he's not a little guy. And Gabe he was just complaining about health problems. And he's a stoner. On top of that, most stoners, by the way, they don't act like this. They give a really bad reputation as stoners. Very bad. You know, but he's like, I want to be the under. He wants to fight Radis or Vet Nation. That would be fair, he thinks. Oh my God. All you gotta do is move around a little bit. Matt might really have a heart attack running around trying to do anything. That would also require him to step outside of his home, which yeah, he's been a shut-in and a half. So, and I mean, quite literally, you know, he is a shut-in and a half. So, yeah, no. Then he's like, anything for charity. Oh my God. Just look how successful the first Creator Clash PPV was. This could be awesome. Seriously. Remember, again, these people are being sued. And they want to compare that to the first Creator Clash. If you don't know about that, by the way, that the first one was successful. And then it went down in a blaze of just fire and controversy because creators weren't paid for their time and effort. The people that actually were running it were just crazy. You know, here's the other thing too. Who would control this whole thing? Oh, the Fats thing. So they're going to do a charity outing? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, we've seen how that works. They essentially want everybody throwing in more money. Boy, they are more desperate than we thought. Oh, being sued? No problem. Oh my God. So dumb. Oh man. By the way, hello. Also, I think John Cook should have an exhibition mount. Tug, perhaps? Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, that'd be funny. Is he going to show with his is he going to show wrapped all the way from his freaking knees to his crotch? I mean, are you kidding me? Didn't that guy have like aren't they complaining about having all these medical problems on top of it? And saying that, I mean, they're on disability, right? So these are people on disability, but they're like, let's have a fight club. Oh my God. Oh my God. Beast, you're not getting alerts for the channel. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. Yes, if you would do, by the way, if you would help out today with this, let people know we are live. We try to be live every day at the same time. So that way, but yes, the tubes apparently, you know, they don't like to give everybody notifications. So let everybody know we're live. Comment if you're around, even lurking, just throw a couple comments in there. Go back to lurking later on. Hit that like button. And if you'd like to go further, if you'd like to support the channel, then consider the old breadsticks, the old chicken skins. Oh, by the way, this is funny. So the fats have legitimized chicken skins. They have legitimized it. They put out a a thumbnail yesterday. We're talking about chicken skins, which I thought was amazing because what that does is it totally legitimizes my book. They said they were going to sue over chicken skin for the soul. Oh, isn't that amazing? We're going to sue you. We don't eat all kinds of chicken skins. By the way, have you seen the title of our new stuff? Chicken skins. Shit. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. It's amazing. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Hey, Shun, I just got to see those fall in. I'll show you that too in a minute too. So Tug versus John Cook. That's hilarious. Like this entire drama could be turned into something to do good. People care too much about egos and money. Fuck you say, dude. I ain't getting out there and fight. Look, first of all, I'm going to make this very clear. Number one, I would never do anything for these people. I would control it. And number two, I get paid for my time. You know, come out here and find us for charity. All that is a bait lure. Oh, you won't do for charity? Uh-huh. You know, why don't you all get on that charity stuff you said you all were going to do? You know, like how much money for a barn dough now? How much? How much for a memorial bench now? Where exactly are we on with all that? Oh, wait, none of that is going on, right? So many YouTube dramas going on. This could be settled, many of them. Yeah, no, I believe there's lawsuits, like I said. And it could easily be sanctioned. Uh-huh. Count me all in. I'll take Travis. Here's this Kimberly. I'll take Travis as of today. I'm down 59 pounds and I'm not scared. I work in psych. I worked in psych too long. I have my own oh my God. Oh, that's so awesome, Kimberly. Oh yeah, I can see that now. Travis, he gets out there and this woman wants to fight him and he pummels them and they're like, oh my God, what did he do? You know, Travis has a background. I've heard him talk about where when he was younger, his father was like, what, he taught martial arts or something. So he has a background. Plus, you know, I've learned, I've fought enough in my life, but I didn't box. You know, I've never believed in I've never believed in having to face some moron. You know, any advantage is good advantage. So screw these people. I tell you, man, this is so nuts. But you know, oh, they're gonna live stream it. $10 to $20, all proceeds to charity. The fuck you say, Lisa? Oh my God. Could you imagine the fat trying to fight Megan? Megan would obliterate them. All she'd have to do, I mean, oh my God. Oh my God, my hurt foot. She keeps doing the yoga. It's not fair. It's not fair. Or Leslie versus Megan get like one backhand in and all these freaking rubber bands would go flying out of some hair. Tape would go flying everywhere. Oh my God, that would be crazy. Cook v. Travis. Volpe versus him. Oh my God. Volpe won't even get involved in a slap fight unless you pay him. You think you're going to get him in a real fight? That's funny. I mean, this is again, look how dumb they are. Not sure if that Coop fella could pass a physical. This coming from Miltoast, talking about physicals. Bruce v. Shizzy, Lisa v. Megan, Leslie v. Duke. Who is Duke? Who? Oh, Rosalind. Okay, my bad. I don't ever think about Rosalind as a last name. You know, if I say Rosalind Duke, I put it all in one name. So it threw me for a second. I was like, wait a minute, what? Oh, a whole fight card. We got to make sure Richard and Volpe. Oh, a commentary. I thought you already had him. Wait. The fat man. You're gonna get him involved too. Oh yeah. A commentary team. I swear, like these people have lost their ever loving minds. Again, this guy is obsessed with an idea of some kind. He thinks he's in Fight Club or something. I mean, it's sad, but it's funny too. I mean, it's absolutely funny. These people think that, again, they think fight like someone like Jeremy. Like I said, Jeremy's not a little dude. He's a pretty good sized guy, and with Jeremy, first of all, I don't see them really coming out and wanting a real fight there, or do we need a person from each side? Again, they always admit sides. You notice this? Oh, I think you just give all the channel content for 2 weeks. It'd be good fun. Fantasy book it. Oh, with Tug, could he wear a mask? I think we need to be safe. Headgear grow. Again, they think they really are going to be able to do this. It is the most absurd thing I've ever seen. I mean, Robbie the ref. Oh yeah, that would be totally fair. I mean, shit. Maybe they could hawk some overpriced rocks in the middle of it. Hey, and in between, before we begin with this undercard match. We'd like to see if you'd like to buy some peen rocks. That's right. This fight brought to you by Peen Rock. No, thank you. Seriously, this could be amazing. I'm serious as well. All I need is 6 months of training. Dude, are you kidding me, you little rage pig? You think you're going to go out there and be able to throw that in? Oh, look, and we keep continuing. If you're like, oh, well, that's all of them, right, Tug? No. Oh, no. No. It's so funny. Imagine this for real. I'm willing to pay for my own training. Lisa, look into the business model of Creator Clash. The first was very successful. You know the difference between Creator Clash? Again, it was creators. Maybe they dislike each other. Maybe they don't. Most creators, though, when they have drama, the drama stems from people making fun of each other back and forth or whatever. It doesn't involve them trying to reach out into real life and ruin someone. Again, it's absurdity. These people are being sued, including Miltos. But it's nice that Miltos put all this stuff up, because what this proves is, even though he's been talking about how he's terrified of Jeremy Hales, remember, that's been his narrative for months now. He's totally terrified. But here he's talking about, not only is he not terrified to go with an event, but he's willing to involve physical violence, quote unquote, for charity. Yeah, I swear. It spits in their narrative. Oh, Creator Clash was put on the YouTuber iDubbbz and his wife. Hey, I was trying to get professional wrestling to come to Otter Creek, Florida. Oh my God. Professional. Why are you fucking around with Otter Creek, period, Miltoast? There's 100 people that live there, dude. 100 people. You are an outsider, man. Why are you trying to do anything there? And if you're like, oh, I'm trying to help their economy. Nah, you guys busted the best chance that Otter Creek ever had of an economy boost. You all have harassed the dude. That would have been there. This weird fantasy that you all have about, I mean, they want professional wrestlers and boxing in Otter Creek. Oh my God. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a pro wrestler out here in Connecticut, and he's trying to get it going. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Yes, beer, or hosted in a state with no athletic commission. Super Dave versus Travis. Oh Lord. Elder abuse. Oh my God. Milto's thinking he could fight anybody is pretty funny. Gabe, he'd be my first choice. Plus, I know he's a showman. He like to put on a good show. Oh my God. Do we fly in Stormtrooper? Can Ed run a t-shirt cannon? Travis versus Thomas Collins or Guapo. Oh no. Dude, Tom Collins, I think, had some severe mental disrepair. There's something up there. You know, that guy. Hey, the problem is that they weren't there in their fantasies. They have gone from, again, you notice how all of their fantasies are starting to involve violence. Honestly, even this, you know, you had just last week, you had Paint Chips talking about how he wanted to take the head off of Jeremy. He wanted to behead him. And he would like to him. And you had Ray talking about it only takes one, you know, talking about conservative ammo. I mean, again, you know, we've seen in real life, like being for real for a second here, we just saw a person that there was controversy surrounding, you know, a YouTuber going to a college campus. And you saw how that turned out. These people are absolutely nut. I mean, they're nut jobs. They're like, yeah, bring all these people out here. I'm sure that would go well, you know. Oh, Tug, with or without a mask, man. Are you fantasizing about me, Miltoast, again? I thought people talking about this again. If I were to say that, yeah, let's get together and we could beat the teetotal crap out of somebody. You know, can you imagine all the crying about this if this would have been stated by someone like myself? Could you imagine? Could you imagine how much Miltoast would be sitting in the corner crying? They're threatening me. They're threatening me. I mean, really? Ugh. I'll make it clear. It's all just for fun. It's not a threat, though. Oh, it's fantasy booking. Oh, it's a dream card. What a weirdo, dude. Oh, and they can have a Lisa one on there. What does that even mean? What? Now you want, wait, you want Thomas Collins versus Deanna? What a weirdo. Fox v. Leslie? What the freaking hell, man? I could just imagine him sitting over there being like, giggity. Such gross. Gross, my friend. Gross. I would not. Yuck. No. Shara versus an actual mole. Oh, so funny. Find someone to run a t-shirt cannon. Oh my God. Look at this delusion. Look. Oh, look. Lisa versus George. Oh my God. George would annihilate one of these weirdos, by the way. What's Rich going to be doing? Probably going back to jail if he's involved with this. I'm just going to say. Squid. Tori versus Squid. Oh, I wouldn't want to touch any of these people. Gross. You don't know where they've been. Or maybe I do know. I've seen some of those videos. I do know where they've been. Let's see. Let's go to page 3. I mean, he really was like, oh, he's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, this is too funny. Ah, here we are. I bet money Leslie would be game. Oh yeah. I think Bruce could be persuaded. Uh-huh. Like I said, a bunch of weirdos, man. Weirdos. Leslie and Michael versus Meg and Tug. Oh yeah, that would be real smart. That's genius, isn't it? That is absolute genius there. You know, the people we're suing and their lawyer. You talking about wanting to create fight night. What craziness, man. I mean, seriously. You gotta admit that's dumb. That'd be amazing. Miss Lori, to be fair, what game with the pro-Hale side yet. I'm not saying on their side, but we got to throw them a bone. It depends on the state. Saying, I mean, again, they're really. He's like, this is just pretend, but no. Some states don't allow mixed gender. They really they want Tom Collins attacking a woman. Yeah, that's kind of bizarre, Dave. That's really bizarre, Dave. I'm just saying. Oh, what weird. These people are weird, man. They creep me out some days. This could seriously be the best and happiest ending to the drama. Oh, man. Yeah, it's definitely drama, man. To everyone who could possibly be involved, pray on it. This is legit. We'd all have to pass physicals. I mean, if we used big gloves, head and growing protection, had a state referee, no danger. The only thing that would hurt would be pride and ego. Oh, look. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear you, Robbie. But a man can dream. They're like, oh, they're cowards. They won't do it. Uh-huh. These are the same people that have been threatening, actual, like, pew-pew violence. And they're like, come on, it'll be fun. Yeah, sure it would. No knife throwing. It won't be a knife throwing. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. This is like when people play the game. Who would win? It's not threats. Uh-huh. Okay. I think we could get sponsors and everything. Imagine. Oh, God. Robbie, even local indie wrestling shows get sponsors. So we could get sponsors. Not Miller or Butter Sony, but we could get some. I'm just saying it'd be fun. Something for the bucket list. Oh, my God. So he thinks he can make him some money, The money from the stream purchases, even if kept small, could bring in thousands for charity, not counting a live gate. Oh, a man could dream. You can help so many. Imagine if a food drive was somehow incorporated. After all, half of us are called fatties. Called fatties? Dude, you weighed 400 pounds. What is a fatty? I mean, again, not being an ass about it, but what do you think that is? This guy is like a walking heart attack for real. And he's talking about, I'm going to get in a boxing ring with someone. My Lord. I swear. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I will put the crown on my, I put the crown on my trunks. What? What? It's almost like you know how to create content, Lisa. I can't wait to see if they use this as talking point on their show. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we definitely are talking about it. Because like I said, what this proves is you're not afraid. You've been lying for months because you sit around and fantasize about violence. You fantasize, and at the same time, you're talking about, I would legit do this. If you were so scared, you wouldn't talk about popping up and doing this in person. One more page. And then we're going to get some other stuff too. I just had to show you this. It's wholesome content, not hate. Oh, yeah, that's wholesome. And right then he's like, who will, again, Vet Nation, except they don't use vet. They use bad puppet blow up doll take on. Oh, Dave. Jewel versus the doll. Perfect, Kevin. Michael versus Shizzy. Oh, I just went on forever, and it's gross, man. There's some weirdos. Yep, Jay. Look, Jay is already hurt by this, by the way. Already. Look what happened. Look, Jay reports here, They mentioned I have to fight Tori, and I already caught HIV. It's sad. Just the idea of it. Look what he did to poor Jay. Poor Jay, man. Now, yesterday, if you missed out on it for some reason, we talked about how, actually, you know what? I'm going to bring that back up. It's 15 seconds. It's not going to hurt anything at all. It's very, very short to bring up. Lynette Preston came out of hiding to try to say that, again, she's playing and I'm gonna make this clear, by the way. If she wants to, here's the perfect counter to what I'm saying, Lynette. If you say that we never talked, that it's all fake, sue me for it. Sue me for it. 100%. I encourage you to do that. If you want to shop around the idea that you and I had never talked, that you didn't ask an intermediary, and that you didn't ask for documents talking about Gabe to help put Lisa and him in jail, and you didn't talk about how Lisa had contacted CPS before, all of that stuff, sue me for saying it. I would love for you to get into a courtroom and try to tell them that everything is fake. Because it's funny, she spent last night trying to really knock this down. And I'm going to play you some new stuff today just because they got on the lie train. But I brought this up last night, very short. It's only 15 seconds, but I want you to listen to the end of it. You know, here I'm talking, there's been this whole, there's this whole section, some of you see, about 2L. And through it, I start talking about CPS calls, because isn't it bizarre that the Fats and all these people, they start talking about kids, and then all of a sudden we got a fake CPS report, a garbage one. So, like I said, somebody over that way, them or somebody associated, I can't prove it, but I think one of them did it. And what does she say about that? Oh, yeah, Lisa did it because she left her name. So she absolutely 100% accuses 2L of calling CPS on her. Now, they tried to spin this into something else last night, into Tug says he's got a call from my voice with CPS. No, that's not what was said ever. This is what was said. Let's listen. You talked about CPS to your home. That piece of shit, I believe, I cannot prove this, but I believe her or she had someone else. They sent them to my home. So, okay, they want to do that, fine. You know, criminals shouldn't play.
Well, she called on me. She gave her name.
She called on me. She gave her name. Talking about 2L. Again, very clear. Well, when that's brought up, that apparently is not going well. Let me bring something else up, Lynette, since we're on the conversation of Lynette Preston, by the way, with her popping up and saying that, of course, she's never said anything like that. She's not involved with anything. Again, you can't blame her and then not blame her. Here's another thing, though, that you told somebody you were talking to at one time. She wanted Lisa in jail. But Lisa, after they got a lawyer, she said she had to get along with Lisa, at least for a little while, until they got Ohio taken care of. Then she would go back after Lisa. So she talked about manipulating and using them. Isn't that an interesting conversation? That, I find that to be a really interesting thing that was reported. But she was out, and they're saying, you know, everyone, please do not believe for 1 minute that Lisa had anything to do with this. Nothing. You have to know the allegations, to know that we're absolutely positive Lisa had nothing to do with. Well, you've accused her before. It's weird how it's convenient. Whoever you're mad at the time, they're somehow a perpetrator about something. The allegation that was made said we did not have a house on our property, then give away that no one that knows us really made the call. You all have a blessed evening. We're, again, these may be out of order. We're good, sending our love. Please do not believe what you hear from Tug in those other flipping stupid channel people. They're all disturbed. Well, you know what's funny is you tell people that, but like I said, when you wanted something there, you 100%. See, this is why at the end of the day, like I said, I stay quiet about that contact for a bit, but This person kept coming out and saying she wanted to play it both ways. She wanted to remain in contact. She wanted to essentially make it look good for the ecosystem. She wanted to pretend that that everything over there was fine, but behind the scenes, she wanted myself through an intermediary at the time, Tina. She wanted me to give whatever to Tina and have Tina give it to her. So she wanted to play that, but at the same time, talk about suing us, make all kinds of crazy fucking allegations. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. You know, in fact, not listening. We're going to listen to something in 1 second. All right. Yeah. Also, this was hey, long time no talk to any of you. This is Michelle. This was the first one, actually. My bad. And I wanted everyone to know that I did not accuse Lisa of calling CPS. The allegations tell it all. She did not do it. At times, an idiot and a liar. What? It tells it all. She did not do it times. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But you heard her own voice. Her own voice, she says that she has called. She left her name. She said it in her own voice. Let's hear what she had to say about it. Would you like to hear what she had to say about John Cook and Lisa? Would you like some of that fun too? You know, I mean, since we're enjoying ourselves. Would you like to hear some of that? And again, this is a first conversation, just to throw this in. All right. It's wild what she will say. So Johnny John boy, let's check this out.
But John is verbally and emotionally abusive. And he was to me, he was to his ex-wife, he was to his girlfriends. That's who John is.
That's who John is. So he's been this horrible thing. She's telling me, a veritable stranger, on our first conversation about how terrible John Cook is. I mean, again, this dude, you know, yeah, I'm going to show you some of the shit that he throws out there. By the way, what a nasty person. But she takes every opportunity to talk about what kind of a monster he is. He's not physically, but he's all this other stuff.
And I'm done with it, and he knows that. He knows that when this is all over, that I'm not going to be here. He's not a physical abuser. He emotionally abuses me because that's just who he is. He hates women.
He hates women. Huh. She also said, see, this is the interesting thing, but she's done this before. She did it in Northport. She said, you know, at the end of this stuff, I'm done. I'm out of here. He knows that I'm done with him. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Again, she's flat out accusing him of some pretty heinous stuff. And she's been doing this not for months, but for years. You know, and what surprises me with the ecosystem is, again, they like to tell you how they stand with the victims. And, you know, how Lynette Preston, again, remember, you were supposed to believe everything she said until it came to some of these folks. When it came to them, then you're not supposed to believe her anymore. It's amazing because Marla, for example, Marla stated it, I think, the best. She said that as far as people that Lynette has accused in the past, every single one of those people was guilty except for John Cook. Everybody else, every accusation is credible, but not with John Cook. Why not John Cook? Because again, you know, that's a little too close to home. Isn't that bizarre? Let's continue.
You don't like women. We're second-class citizens.
He doesn't like women. We're second-class citizens. Again, she makes it very clear. Her accusation, John Cook hates women. Huh. That's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting.
Maybe that's why he likes Lisa.
I'm
I
sorry.
know, but
You know what it is? She pets him.
She pets John Cook. You can hear her. See these three-way conversations here. You've got myself, you have Tina, and you have Lynette Preston. They're all, again, you know, Tina, like she said when we talked about it, she had to three-way this call in there. And you can hear her talking to this. Also, I think, adds a lot of credibility to what Tina has been saying to people. You know, when Tina talks about what's noted. Well, here you go. These are perfect examples. Give me a second. I gotta grab something. I need. I left something across the room. Give me a minute. I gotta grab a water. Oh, I have to drink a lot of water. So, 1 minute. I'm coming back. I had to grab my water. I left it across the room. Oh, I had a half a water. I already drank it. So, sorry. I put my headphones back on. But yeah, I mean, you can hear everybody there. And again, you know, you notice how. Unless they're saying some of the worst things you've ever heard about attacking Tina, you know, going in. And by the way, you want me to tell you a really horrible thing that the ecosystem did? Let me tell you something so just disgusting. It kind of just blew my mind. You know, they've been harassing Tina since she came out and started talking about this, right? You know, they took and, well, I'm not going to say who is responsible because you don't know who exactly is doing the calls. But, well, you know where the number would have had to come from, right? Okay, well, somebody called her home and they were using a voice changer. And they were using a voice changer pretending to be a child. And asking her, like, Mommy, why did you let this happen to me? Because she lost her child. So they've been trying to emotionally torment Tina because she's lost a child. Oh, because she came out and talked about how awful these people are. You know? That's what happens, man. You ever so much as think about that. Yeah, and it's a lot worse than that too, because they didn't just do that, but they also they would use that, and then they would flip it over and, you know, pretend to be a woman talking, because it's supposed to be Tina and her child that are talking. And the stuff, I mean, they have been trying to emotionally torture this woman who lost her child while pretending to be the good guys, of course. I mean, it's just, I don't know how to make that any clearer about how awful these people are. I mean, they're 100% disgusting people. But, you know, all because, again, she knew what these people were doing. She heard things that disturbed her in these conversations. She heard about plotting. You know, I mean, again, Lynette Preston would brag about, like with Beecham. I knew for a long time that Beecham was going to for sure show up in Ohio. You know, people were like, no way. He's going to, oh yeah. He had been plotting with these people for a while, which just blew my mind, because every time we talk about the protective order, I knew nothing would happen. Why? Because the people that are in charge of doing anything about it are plotting with the folks that have it against them. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard, because Hale's challenged their system out there. So they would let anything happen, you know. And the problem is with Tina and stuff, you know, she can report that to her police for sure, but anything in that area, no. I wouldn't do anything. You notice how awful these folks are, though. But let's continue anyway, before I get off in the weeds about that.
She pets his ego.
Yeah. Lisa pets his ego.
She pets his ego. Michelle shouldn't treat you like that. She should treat you better. You need someone and deserve somebody who will treat you with love and respect.
That's weird, by the way. So she says that the conversations that when they're sitting around, John Cook and Lisa oh, you shouldn't be treated that way. You deserve something better. You deserve a person that will love and treat you with dignity and respect. Wow, that sounds like courting, doesn't it? that sounds very bizarre. I mean, these are people that are talking all, according to Lynette, they talk multiple times a day, every day. So, it's something else. Hey, Kiwi. Yeah, Tina should bring witness intimidation. Well, the problem is that unfortunately, the courts have allowed just anything to happen. Look at with Shara. I mean, Shara came in and was like, look, these people are threatening me on a live stream. They are actually threatening me. Nothing's happened. But I agree. I mean, people trying to, you as a witness, and people are calling, and they're trying to, they're trying to torment you. That is witness intimidation. 100%. Again, it's also a testament again to how awful these people actually are. I mean, I can't in my life imagine trying to torture a parent that has lost a child. But they're okay with it. And when you talk about this, of course, they'll all get their old denial. Oh, we didn't do that, but you hear with some of the stuff that they freaking say, some of the horrible things. They have definitely opened the door for it. They definitely encourage, but let's continue.
And you know what the sick part of it is? She knows.
Oh, wait, listen to this part. Now, this is interesting. I'm curious what this is supposed to be right here. Listen to what she says about Lisa.
She knows why I stopped being with John Cook and why we divorced. She knows why I told her. And she used it against me, and that's why I hate her.
Huh. So she knows why I divorced John Cook. She knows whatever this awful secret is. She 100% knows what that is. And she's utilized it against her. And that's why she hates her. Again, they play all nice and they play this game of pretend in the ecosystem. Like right now, they're playing all chummy and like, oh, Lynette, she was just a little mad about some stuff that goes, no. She made it clear. She hated her enough to reach out to people that she didn't know how it would go. And like I said, I told her very much, like, you can do X, Y, and Z. And boy, she did some stuff that it's interesting, like I said, that they want to play this game again. They want to pretend nothing happened. They want to pretend these aren't conversations that went on. But she talked about how much she hated her. How much, again, what kind of a piece of garbage she is. Like when you listen to that, I'm curious, like I said, what exactly she's talking about with that, though. Like, what could that be? Again, what did she tell her that she utilized against her? So I'm going to play all of it, not going to interrupt. I just want you to hear it. It's a minute, so it doesn't hurt anything. But again, just listen to the allegations. And I mean, there's so much more to. I enjoy like when these people get snide, especially when Preston is starting to pop back up and these idiots are back on their blame train. I like bringing up things like this. I like setting on it and bringing it back up instead of just throwing it all out there at once, because it's forgotten in that moment. It doesn't have the impact, that visceral hit. But when they start bringing up CPS again, I like reminding that, hey, Lynette Preston behind the scenes was accusing 2L and anti-Hales of calling CPS. So when they're out here and they're saying, oh, well, it couldn't be them, that's not what they were telling people. And when they're blaming Hales for every CPS call that has happened, that is not true either, because behind the scenes, Lynette Preston has said, yes, she has called You know, she left her name before. She did this. So, I mean, she made it very clear, you know, with these allegations that they've made and they want to weaponize in court, they don't believe them. And with this kumbaya bullshit that they're trying to pass off on folks too, all these people hate each other. They hate each other. You know, and you don't have to like each other, by the way, but it's just amazing. They all moved into this thing where, you know, again, they convince people to give tens of thousands of dollars to a cause they ultimately never believed in because they hate each other. They didn't trust each other. Again, Lynette made it clear that Lisa wouldn't even give her number. Now, we hear about how Leslie and Lisa, they text back and forth like they're old buddies, right? So she gave her number, but this woman she kept bringing up and saying, man, you got to believe her forever. You got to listen to everything that she says. You need to give all of this money and do all of this. Well, she wouldn't even give her phone number, but she asked other people to give tens of thousands of dollars to her. Isn't that nuts? But here, listen to it all in context. This is what's said without interruption.
John is verbally and emotionally abusive. And he was to me. He was to his ex-wife. He was to his girlfriends. That's who John is. And I'm done with it. And he knows that. He knows that when this is all over, that I'm not going to be here. He's not a physical abuser. He emotionally abuses me because that's just who he is. He hates women. He don't like women. We're second-class citizens.
You notice she talks
Maybe
over.
That's why he likes Lisa. I'm sorry.
I know, but
you know what it is? She pets him. She pets his ego.
Yeah, I can see that.
She pets his ego. Michelle shouldn't treat you like that. She should treat you better. You need someone and deserve somebody who will treat you with love and respect. And you know what the sick part of it is? She knows why I stopped being with John Cook and why we divorced. She knows why I told her. And she used it against me, and that's why I hate her.
Again, these are people pretending that they get along. These are people that pretend that they're all kumbaya buddies, right? What a bunch of nasty pieces of garbage, right? I mean, really, what a bunch of nasty pieces of work. Because that, I mean, again, that's been the face of what's transpiring. And Lynette, in her own home, she's like, John Cook talks to her every day, many times a day. And I don't trust her. I don't like this. I don't like that. I hate her. And she also, again, she accuses John Cook of being a monster to everyone he's ever dealt with. Again, remember, the ex-wife, they say that he drove his ex-wife to end herself, and they keep the ashes in the shed. I mean, that was stated to police on body cam footage. That's how crazy that is. But remember, they're all the good guys, right? They're all the good guys. Now, John, of course, while he's doing all of this, boy, so he, here, give me a second. Oh, check this out too. So I don't know if you checked out their thumbnail yesterday, which I thought, that again, chicken skins. Look at that. Oh, gross. Also, that ain't you for sure. They pretend. Oh my God. That sure ain't you. I'm a supermodel. You fucking ain't that. It's so funny. But They're so butthurt. They're like, oh God, we gotta control this because he laughs at us about chicken skins all the time. I love it. Because again, that adds so much legitimacy. Chicken skin for the soul is real. Oh my God, it's so funny. I love it. Oh God. Hey, you gotta admit that's amazing. I mean, that is absolutely freaking amazing there. Yeah, give me a minute here. Let's see. Oh yeah, John Cook, though, he decided to say something really gross. Like, again, these are the people that are being sued for some pretty heinous things. And they say, oh, we don't say things like that about people, right? Here's John Cook last night talking about me. He's like, are we talking about the same tug who groomed a child to marry? What the fuck, man? Now, what's crazy here, I'm taking that off my screen. I don't want that on my screen for very long because, yeah, YouTube doesn't appreciate even the utterance of something. And the Fats decided to read that and be like, I'm like, okay. So the Amber Heard Sims, when, again, false accusers, what do? They false accuse. So they came up with this weird narrative about how I had been a guidance counselor and I married a former client, which I was like, that's bizarre. First of all, I got married before I practiced therapy. I met my wife, ex-wife now, in college. You know, we were together a couple of decades, really, right on there. But I met her in college. I went through more years of college, and then I became at first a case management person, which depending on where you are, they're either care managers or case management. It depends. You know, each state has its own words, but it's essentially, you know, the person that goes out from like a mental health place and meets with people. Now, from there, I became a therapist, not a guidance counselor. These people do not understand how any of this works. That's how you breed that. And these people who made up this, they were smart enough not to put it under their names because they knew, you know, when you say terrible things about folks like that, especially things easily disproven, you put yourself at great risk. I mean, what this does with John Cook is it proves that John Cook makes accusations like that. And it proves that about 2L as well. So when these people go out and they say, oh, I would never say something like that. We would never say anything about, you know, a person. We got, look, you just typed this out. So of course you would. That's your go-to. Your go-to is life ruination. You know, and the reason that they want to do that is because they want to convince people that don't listen to him about talking to Preston. Isn't that insane? I mean, oh, what a bunch of weirdos. But I mean, pretty dumb to put your name to that. Very dumb, in fact. You know, with also with therapy, when you work in a position like that, the state, they require every, I think, 2 weeks for there to be a new background check that goes through all of the different reporting agencies. It differs depending on the state you're in, and they have federal guidelines too. Well, the place I worked at did every week, you know, and if anything like that came up, you'd have a real problem, you know. And like I said, I did that until, well, not last year, but the year before. You know, I worked in mental health for a long time, but they don't understand mental health. See, they play activists. They pretend activists get to me because they've never done anything in real life. They've never gone out and actually helped people. They play it online for profit, but they have never done anything real, you know. They pretend that stalking a person around Otter Creek while putting up the shittiest fence I've ever seen is somehow activism. But meanwhile, broken children and stuff, oh no. They can't even imagine working in fields like that, But I worked with kids that would be referred by the state. They would be broken kids that would be referred in. They weren't, every now and then you might get some, like, if through outpatient clinics, I worked at places that would have housing, like for severely mentally ill people. There would be 3 levels of housing. And the 3 levels of housing, you can hold, depending on the place, you may have 32 people over 4 houses. You may have like 20 something in another set of houses. But out of that, you're talking about, there's a very small percentage. So out of the housing care, you might have 100 people. You'd have outpatient that would be attached, because these are clinics, like any clinic you see. I got a cough. Give me 1 minute. Excuse me. This weather, man, it sucks. But on top of that, we would get people referred by the state. Give me a sec. I got a cough again. God, something's bothering my throat. Ugh. God, I hate this weather. Give me 1 second. Ugh. Maybe that'll help. Excuse me. I'm trying not to cough. If I cough on the mic, I apologize. But something, you never get that where like something bothers your throat for a second. Maybe my eyes water. Ugh, God. Anyway, I think it's better. But we would get people, they'd be referred by the state. We get offenders, and we would have victims. And I've worked on both sides of that. I've worked with offenders. I have worked with victims. Because offenders, the simple thing with offenders too, just noting, is somebody has to monitor them. They do. They have to. Otherwise, the reoffense rate, with monitoring offenders, their first year without monitoring, the offense rates go up to about 80% that will reoffend. 80% of people. So you're talking about 4/5. With monitoring, it's cut down to 1/5. So you have to have that. But I found some of those cases, I couldn't do that. So I worked with broken kids, with absolutely broken kids. And every now and then I might catch a case where we'd have an overflow of some like little kid. See, typically I didn't work with like teenagers or something unless they were referred to, by the state. And some of those cases are awful. But if I caught an overflow, like they were just an outpatient, they would normally be under 10. I'm trying to think if I can remember any that weren't referred by the state that were over that. So see, they don't even understand the idea of how any of that works. But the idea that John Cook would pick up something like that, and the Fats would too. Again, the people who created that, they created them anonymously. But it's the same thing that you're seeing right now that Leslie and Lisa and all these people are trying to do to Jeremy Hales. Because in the moment, that the allegations they created are absurd. You've seen some of the letters come out. You've seen some of the statements about that. But over a long enough timeline, people that are uneducated on that, if they go out, that's what you have to watch. Like Leslie talks all the time about search engine optimization, SEO. And what they want to do is repeat something horrific so many times that it becomes real about someone like Hales. And meanwhile, you have them, you have some of these letters that are coming out on that he has posted, where he's talking about how, they wanted to reach out to Randy, for example. I mean, again, you think about this, all right? They're saying all this was a plot. All right. Meanwhile, you have, I wanted Randy to call me yesterday so we could strategize. I called his office twice, but never heard back. It's hard to really figure all of this out just emailing. I think if we could all be on a conference call, we could discuss how to do this better. Let me know your thoughts. What was the date, by the way, that they were saying that Jeremy Hales met with her? What was that? The 16th? Isn't that correct? And yet, if you notice, they say things like, we're doing all of this by email. Wait a minute. So if they were meeting in person, you would think they would have had reference to that somewhere in this mess, right? I mean, that's the allegation, that there was a meeting and then, terrible things. And somehow a picture that they've referred to a million. Again, some of the stuff she's put up online, oh my God. Like, this stuff was documented from Go. Not only that, but from Go, there were items sent over to Randy. There were multiple witnesses because you knew how this would play. And the first video, the video of them riding back in a truck at night. Yeah, I saw that that was from the first night when the first day rather, when all that stuff started coming in and when the first response was going to happen. That's what he recorded that. I saw and knew of that day myself, because I was like, you got to document this. You've got to show, you have to. But she was alleging things like, again, about him, about Michael. They said, they wanted Jeremy to worry. They wanted him afraid for her, so he would want to save her. Again, their allegation was that, again, I do not believe this, but at the same time, you go with it. This is how it played in court. Her husband/lawyer was colluding on a narrative where she's talking about how they're fighting, how he's spying on her. I found his spyware, which monitors my phone. I write music on my computer, and he isn't monitoring my computer because that would entail him downloading spyware on that. I write music on my computer, and he hasn't caught onto my communications with that, which would cost him more money to monitor my computer. He wouldn't do. I delete browser history. But she's, again, talking about monitoring. She's trying to paint this narrative and saying that, let's see, saying things like, again, just saying hello. Michael has access to my new TikTok because he's installed MS Spy on my iPhone, but just wanted to say hi. This email is safe if you ever want to say hello. I saw the order against Bruce. He really effed up. I cannot believe he was so stupid to email, acting as Lynette's attorney, etc. Think about the fact he went onto Facebook accusing Michael and of trying to steal his client for a civil lawsuit when he was not even granted pro hoc vice status to represent her civilly. More evidence. Interesting. And the other one that was put up. Now there have been others. There's been more as well. Yeah. Let's see. Here's another one to put in. Wait a second. I'm picking them up as I'm making sure which ones are. Wait, no, not that one. My bad. There's the other one. Oh, the crush one. Here we are. I don't fault you. I want you to know I was transparent with you. I truly developed a crush on you, which made me act in a manner where I wasn't looking out for myself. I liked you. You cannot deny that it wasn't real. I was the one who made the mistake trusting you. I was told I was a fool for trusting you, but my feelings towards you overpowered my logic. Now, you sit with tons of things you could use to hurt me that I gave you when I was vulnerable in trusting you. You probably felt absolutely nothing from me and played me while gathering everything I was so stupid to give you so you could use it for your benefit. It truly hurts, Jeremy. What really hurts is for a second, I thought maybe you actually liked me. I don't think you ever liked me. You just played me knowing the direction you plan to take this. Does that sound like somebody that feels like they're in control and they're manipulating the other person? Or does that sound like somebody that is saying, oh my God, I shouldn't have said everything I said? I mean, again, it's kind of interesting. And you see the dates on stuff like that. I mean, this went on. It went on for a hot minute. But there was plenty of it out there too. Also, with the safety thing, just know any reply in the Lana email he is watching or even writing himself. This email is my only source of privacy. So please do not publish anything from this thread because Michael is stalking your channel and calling me out and questioning me about anything you post. If you want it published, use the Lana email. So, I mean, she's creating false email accounts. She's talking about, again, from her narrative, which I'd 100% adopt her narrative. I would for court. Oh, hell yeah. Because it's so bad. Again, they're telling you all of that is fake. All of this concern building, all of the recordings, which again, personally, I do not believe they are. But like I said, I would adopt it for court because you have her and her lawyer colluding to manipulate a person. And when they're trying to manipulate them, they're manipulating them with her saying that essentially she's in danger. This person, they're fighting. There's all of this going on. And it's a person that she is accused of some pretty heinous stuff in courtrooms. You've seen the docket entries for it. You've seen what she's accused him of. So, to play that off and to be like, gotcha. That's pretty heinous. That's pretty gross, right? I think that says plenty, like I said, about the ecosystem too. I want to read just something too. I have not yet gone through. Oh, they had that live stream last night, and it looks like it's going to be an actual golden smorgasbord to go through, because one of the people I loved to go through and check out what they have to say about stuff, they decided that they would post. Oh, by the way, before I get to them though, so you had. I actually really like, by the way, Susan Davis. If you've never read any of her posts, you should definitely check them out, because, she talks about things like people not understanding what a vexatious litigant is. And I 100%, I agree. She's, she makes some very, very good points. She's, let me pull something up. Because they've been talking about how Jeremy Hales, he's going to be found as a vexatious litigant. And the reason I mention this at all is because the people that are telling you this, they lean on their, I totally understand the law better than anybody. So here, let me pull up this post. Now, this post was shared on Otter Creek, Florida, in the Shadier Bunch, uncensored. So if you want to check it out, you should. And again, I want to give credit. I like to give credit to everybody if I can remember who posted something. Melissa had posted the long shots where I showed Lynette Preston speaking. She had managed to capture and posted all of the all of the stupid Dave ones, which were pretty funny. But listen to this. This is actually pretty good, I think. It makes a lot of sense there. So it appears that potentially soon to be officially labeled a vexatious litigant, Leslie Federico's completely misunderstands the vexatious litigant statute in Florida. Not a real shocker. First, Federico's contended today that if Hale's, quotes, gets two or more rulings like the district court ruling in Owen, for example, where his cases are dismissed for failure to state a claim, something along those lines, totally, where a court has come in and ruled on it, you can absolutely go for him as a vexatious litigant, and I intend to do so. Well, bless your heart, Leslie, but no, just no. The Florida vexatious litigant statute only applies to pro se litigants. That's right. Vexatious litigant means a person proceeding pro se. Hales has been represented by counsel in every lawsuit he has filed. Now, the number of lawsuits required before a pro se litigant potentially can be labeled a vexatious litigant is 5, not 3. It's 3 plus 2. That's 5. Like again, the statute's listed. Vexatious litigant is a person who, in the preceding 7-year period, has commenced, prosecuted, or maintained pro se 5 or more actions in any court. Because 3 is not 5, Federico's is wrong. Also, well, not even that. It's funny too because even if it were 3. She's like, okay, well, there's the Owen thing. Well, what else? What else does she think that Jeremy Hales has lost? Does she think that the state court, did she think that is somehow his case and let Preston bringing those forward? Is she somehow under that impression? Does she also, involved in that? Does she somehow think a protective order, which they're banking on so much? Do they think somehow right now that's number 1, that's right there included, and number 2 that hasn't already been decided on? Because again, we're talking about violations here. The protective order was already granted. That's one thing I think they forget. Even if, again, in their magical land where they're including anything and everything, we're talking about violation. So do they think that counts? And again, like you said, you would have to have him doing this on his own too. So none of it would count. But let's just say hypothetically, if they could count things with Hales and what would count? Well, what do they imagine would count there? The adverse ruling in the Owens case it's not final. It's on appeal. That's right. The vexatious litigant statute requires, quote, finally and adversely determined, unquote, decisions. And if a case is under appeal, the decision is not final. There's no grounds for her contention that Hales is at risk being labeled a vexatious litigant in Florida. Second, Federico's claims that she cannot be declared a vexatious litigant because she has not filed any cases as a pro se litigant that were, quote unquote, finally and adversely determined against her due to the fact that she voluntarily dismissed all the cases. This is untrue. She has at least 5 cases that she filed as a pro se litigant that were finally and adversely determined against her. Note, there may be more, but I stopped at 6. Yes, there are quite a few out there. And on top of that, when you pull them all in, you can make a grand case. Everything where she admits, by the way, she admits that she brings cases. She will get them on the record, and then she will drop them. She will drop them for the sole intention of people being able to search them so they can find that that person. You know, again, it's an attempt at reputational damage for people out there. So I mean, when you put together her track list, I mean, it's pretty bad. What's really disturbing to me, though, more than anything, is the fact that she does not understand anything with the law. And people are listening. Again, what really disturbs me in it, I think more than anything, is the fact that when she's talking about this stuff, people, they listen. They believe that she's right about things like, again, protective orders. They think that because protective orders are established in another state, that somehow, again, they don't stand up. That's something that was here. I'm gonna read some of this. By the way, I like it. We're gonna read some. I watch So You Don't Have To. You know, I really enjoy it. I watch So You Don't Have To. But I'm gonna finish my thought first. She actually thinks, again, and has been telling an audience, and I've brought this up a few times, but I think it's worth repeating anytime we talk about this person and what they tell folks is her background in the law. This is what it's taught her. She thinks that if you get a protective order in Ohio, it doesn't count in Florida. You can do whatever the fuck you want because, hey, different state. She also thinks, again, that it is somehow illegal for you to actually read the words that they say, to talk about a transcript of something, that somehow, in some way, it's going to allow them to come after you. And on top of that, too, they think that she thinks that unlicensed practice of law, that is us talking about cases. Not her, though, even though she's not a lawyer anymore. She doesn't think that applies to her or Lisa or anyone else. But folks like myself or Megan or Shizzy, we're all going to totally go to jail because we talk about cases. It's totally crazy stuff, man. But anyway, last night apparently was a lot about me. A lot. So I'm going to have to go in and I'm going to have to review it. I took a fat-free day, you know. I decided that today I was not going to read the transcript over it, but I will tomorrow. I think that will be a fun one, especially for the breakdown, because apparently it was just an epic cry fit that, again, was based on 100% false information. You know, they essentially, they tried to sell their people the fact that when we were talking about, one second, I'm grabbing something real quick. I'm making sure that I download something real fast. Just give me a second. I saw something come up and I need to grab it real quick. Give me 1 minute. Before it disappears. You know, certain things have a way of disappearing, you know, if you wait on them. So I'm making sure I grab it real fast. But they were trying to tell people that I was saying again that the Fats had called CPS and that I had a recording of it, which weirdly enough, there's something they say in here that it blows my mind. Because when you go over it, they make a threat. First of all, they're like, it's not real. It's not real. But then later on in here, if they're like, if he has something like that, it's illegal. Wait a minute. Is it not real or is it illegal for me to have it? But regardless, I've never claimed that I had something like that. I do think it's funny, though, that they seem to be very bothered by this notion. So let's look at this. Chicken skin, anyone? First things first, the flea and twerks go over a day's scoop on the street. First up is Mr. Coop's take on the motion to dismiss that Dickie Lickman filed recently in the Florida courts. The fleas get just a little pissy about him, saying that his spacing, wording, and fonts were not in the correct form. Then we find that they really dislike the fact that he went over Lipsy's makeup tutorial for aging women. You mean the one where they talk about, again, taping a person's face? Like again, ladies, we all age. Okay. I realize that that socially and societally, women are under different scrutiny than men. I don't have to put anything on me. Actually, you don't have to, but I understand. Again, you're under different different social rules, different social norms. But having said that, if you are applying rubber bands to your fake wig and you're taping your face and you're painting on your nose, at a certain point, that stuff, first of all, it doesn't pass. When you see somebody with all that, it's lunacy. What I saw on that live stream was utter lunacy. And this is from a person that spends their time making fun of folks like Megan Fox, saying, oh my God, look at her turkey neck. And yet, this person's answer to trying to deal with things is spraying on a concrete foundation and attaching tape to anything that you think you can pull back. It's amazing. I mean, it seemed like something right out of a comedy routine. So for somebody to laugh at that, oh yeah, it was pretty freaking funny. And there were plenty of women that had a good laugh at it. But of course, totally laughing at women. That's the way they put it, right? The twerks tell the flea all about the video he made, where he quote unquote made up his own image with big lips, blue eyeshadow, and his twerky tail, some big long eyelashes. The flea swallows hard and lets out but he could use some help. She then slams him about his teeth and suggests he, quote, should worry about those before foundation and makeup. Wait, is the Fats making fun of someone else's teeth? Are you kidding me? You realize you are not that AI freaking creation, right? That isn't you. You are not that avatar. You are very far from that avatar. So to say something to mock another person's teeth with these folks, God, the absurdity to that. Oh my Lord. It's so bizarre. I can believe it, but at the same time, my God. Are they jealous that Mr. Coop looked better than Lipsy LaRue herself? I mean, he's a handsome man and very handy with woodworking tools. So maybe they're just jelly. Blink, blink. Yeah, also, I mean, maybe those woodworking skills, they're like, oh my God, maybe he could do a better job on his face. If you got to pull everything back, maybe he could just chisel it in place. Who knows? Moving on to what's his name? The flea cap guy. Yeah, they pretend they don't know who Jay is. I always love that too. He's like, what's that guy's name? I love when they pretend that. They damn well know who he is, but they try to pretend that they're not invested. That's hilarious. They're like, he's the one who said he's got no content. She points out to Twerky T. Twerky says that she went into Jay's stream to see what he was all about and found that he was doing his People Watch stream, and he wasn't even taking the flea fodder. Flea swallows hard and declares, now that is creepy. Yeah. People Watch. Remember, you ain't got no content and you're creepy if you talk about the Fats. But if you do something else, it's like, oh my God. Yeah. So wait a minute. I want to understand something, by the way, from this logic. I want you to follow this with me. Okay, folks, are you ready for this? Watching someone else through cameras is creepy and weird, right? Huh? So let's think about that. If watching someone through someone else's cameras is creepy and weird, wouldn't that be a discussion about themselves? I mean, considering one of their pastimes is indeed observing Jeremy Hales through another person's cameras. I mean, that's one of the things that I think one of the few things they actually do. It's so bizarre, man. They call themselves out. I love it. So the flea claims that Jay's people watching on bar cameras shows the creepy side of Jay that no one knows about. Twerk agrees, saying in a shaky voice she never understood why he would do such a thing. Like, again, they sit around and obsessively wait for Jeremy Hales or somebody that works for Jeremy Hales to drive down the road. They obsessively remark on 10 seconds of footage as a person drives down a one-lane road, talking for hours about anything these folks do. But it's creepy. So, like I said, I think that's a self-call out, right? If it's creepy to watch other folks like that, well, I mean, again, I know somebody who does. And with this, though, as she says, well, it's playful and fun. I mean, one of my favorite TikTok accounts is a bar in London that does karaoke live. Hello, does that make me creepy? Blink, blink. Indeed. Then they get butthurt about something. Because if you haven't seen it, it's really funny. You had Mr. Coop decided that he was going to take the Protector song, and he was going to do a tug. He's our protector. And they don't like that idea. It's hilarious. They're like, oh my God. So they get a big laugh when someone takes Flippa Stacy's Protector song she wrote about the flea and turns it into ode of Tug is our protector. They're seriously taken aback that they took the Flea's Cult song and turned it into a Tug Cult song. What's hilarious about that, again, is if you look at that and you think, my God, that's a creepy freaking song. Well, it was written about you. And if you think it seems culty and weird, that's the whole point. See, sarcasm is lost on a bunch of ignorant, semi-literate fools. Oh, Lord. Speaking of Tug, the fleet gurgles before playing a weird clip of Twerky T spinning an AI game show reel and having it land on Tug's wedge on the wheel. No explanation. No context. And creepier than Jay's bar scene, for sure. The flea calls at her sin to speak. What in the dumb hell? Gabester wanders or stumbles into the stream, sounding like he has a mouthful of poppy seeds and dreams. The flea isn't finished with Tug, though. Yeah, I thought I heard somebody coming. No. The flea isn't finished with Tug, though. As Gabby starts his hellos to the warrior dwellers, the flea winds up her wordy attack toward Tug on his stream. By the way, their whole thing, where they come in and they do their hellos. It's so distracting. Like if I were a host on something and someone that is stoned out of their gourd wanders into my live stream and just starts doing random hellos while I'm trying to speak, I would not be pleased. I would not be pleased at all. But the flea, though, they call Tug a moop or a demook. I really wish you'd put the captions back on. I don't know. They would be confused too. Perplexed, the Gabster asks the woman what that even means. And the flea giggles out that it's like a geisha. What? A geisha? What is that? I thought they were talking about a moot, God, I mean, do they not? If you're gonna drop something like, are they trying to use a mook? because that's supposed to be like a stupid person or an incompetent person. It has nothing to do with geishas. So what does that even mean? By the way, it's like if that's some kind of slur, she apologizes. And I can't think of one that's supposed to be a slur. I don't even know. And again, unless that's what they're supposed to be utilizing. But the flea finds her unusual demeanor derp in her chicken bucket and tells how, quote, apparently Tug was supposed to play an audio call between the flea, herself, and CPS. Now, again, this is the way that they spin shit. Like I said, what actually happens, I play Preston accusing Lisa, the fat, of calling CPS on her before. How does that spin? Again, this is what they try to sell to people, so they will never look into what's there. Because what they need to decide in situations like this, they need to decide, again, how do you not process how many people that they've dealt with that they've turned on? And again, I realize that you have internet turmoil, but my God, all of this started with turning on somebody. Remember, Jeremy Hales was somebody they loved. They venerated the guy. He helped them until they wanted something else. Travis, same thing. The biggest donor they've ever freaking had, same thing. The freaking people that made them cult songs, same thing. And we can go on and on. I mean, again, everyone from Shara. I mean, how many folks? They turned on Bruce. Again, Preston herself. So you have to ask at a certain point. I'm not saying Preston is believable, but I'm saying that she herself accused Lisa. She tried to put her in jail. These aren't drama slap fights. This is the kind of stuff. She tried to put her in jail. I don't know how to stress that even anymore. She wasn't like, I don't like her. She was like, she's a liar and a scam artist, and she stole from us. I mean, how do you make that any clearer? But she goes on to rant while Gabby and Twerk gasp in disbelief. This is Tug's bullshit. He makes up lies all the time. Now the flea smacks schmaltzy lips like she just came back from a deli counter on a late night run and continues to rant about Tug. He reads some post or something, she says. Larnertz was referring to me because she said, called CPS. No, there wasn't a reading something. Again, it was her actual legit statement. So Lynette Preston, again, the whole thing that should make you doubt, though. First of all, you don't know if any of these calls are legit at all. In fact, they tell you that a number has just jumped 10 calls within this very short span. Okay. If that is indeed correct, who's making calls? Because they talked about when they were feuding with Lynette Preston, they talked about having her called in for wellness checks, talked about her being incompetent. They talked about worrying about the child with her. They made plenty of statements. And with that, I mean, again, the entire anti-Hales ecosystem, they turned on her. They made it very clear that they did not like her at all. So, Lordy, just another bunch of speculations and myths truth of what really went down in Tug's stream. Indeed. The flea raises her octaves for emphasis and spits out, well, that's bullshit because I never called CPS on their nuts. The flea warns Tug that if he says he has audio of the event, she's pretty sure he will be in trouble with a capital T. Why do I feel I'm being thrown into River City and a song is about to break out? You will not have a call about me calling CPS, complaining about Lynette. The flea growls into her crusty mic. If you can prove that, I'll give you $56,000. The flea laughs. So she's laughing about the money she took. Isn't that crazy? She's sitting around joking about the $56,000 that she took from Lynette. I mean, what a middle finger. Holy crap. That right there is, I am going to have to go through that stream just because that by itself makes it worth covering. I mean, what a middle finger. Gosh. The flea soon brushes off the fact that she was involved at all and claims that Lynette was talking about someone else for sure. Oh, sure. I'm sure she was. She just talked shit about you for freaking, 5 minutes straight. And then again, they want to sell it in any way they can. Remember, at first it wasn't real. Then it was, well, if it's real, then it's third-party violation because Tug somehow works for Jeremy Hales. Then it became, it's a third-party violation because it's real. And now they all pretend that they're pals again. It's so funny. The flea takes the whole ordeal out of context and once again is adamant, you won't hear my voice calling CPS. For God's sake, as it notes, no one said Tug had an audio of her, but she spins it like it's all about her and her character. Indeed, she makes everything about her. She is, what she wants to do is she wants to play the victim in this entire this facade that they put on, because what they've done is they've made her the main character. They've taken Lynette. Lynette is a useful thing, depending. Like right now, what's going on in Ohio, they think that if Lynette can win that will be useful for them in litigation. So, of course, they want that. They also want it for coverage. Of course, they want that too. But outside of that, they don't really give a shit about her. They've made that clear, I mean, they ran her down in the dirt. And as far as money or anything else, good luck. Lynette, she must be desperate and figuring out too that her money, it's never going to come back. She's never going to be able to earn like she did before. And she thinks maybe, just maybe, these idiots will help her out. She did, like I said, tell Tina, though, that right now she had to deal with them right now until Ohio is over. It's funny because if you look at the setup, it really looks like Lynette ended up getting the one up on these people, because I mean, again, they're sitting on a pile of money they took from her. I'm curious if they had some kind of backroom deal to try to settle any of that money. I'm very curious about how that goes. And I'm very curious how it will go in the aftermath. Like I said, after the decision comes in, what will they try to do? But she throws in, again, John Cook is like, is that the same Tug that groomed a child for marriage? And she was like, yes, that would be the same Tug. Right there. That dumb piece of shit puts her name to that accusation. Not, again, it's a random. You cannot go out. This is what they don't understand. They don't understand it with Jeremy Hales, and they don't understand it with life, period. You can't just find a random thing and repeat it and pretend like that somehow makes it real, And unfortunately for them, like that whole narrative falls apart. Now, when people are like, you should sue people like this, what do I get from them? For all the money that I would spend, what would I get from them? Again, Jeremy Hales has to worry about a business. Like, they won't stop with him. They are dismantling his life's work. They are making actual threats. They know where he's at all the time, And again, it's more than just being online and someone trying to, again, they're not gonna hurt me. Fuck them. Better people have tried, powerful people have tried. These people are just, they're insignificant in that. But when you have something stationary, they can hurt. Absolutely. They can do damage to sponsors and stuff, but they don't have any of that damn for me. You know, like I say. But with that, they don't learn. What they've done is they've proven that as far as anything goes, again, if I was ever called on to talk about some of this insanity, I would 100% note this right here about how these people, especially like a John Cook, always 100%, their go-to is to utilize that child as a weapon, or the word child. They say they don't do that, but you notice they do. Like I think that's a huge point in this stuff too, because again, they deny putting out signs. But look at everything when they accuse people. Lynette accuses everybody of doing harm to the kid when she's mad. She's accused everyone. That includes, again, the Fats. She's accused 2L of it too. But she's accused Cook, everybody. That's a go-to. Cook's the same way. Look at the things they say about Travis. And look at how they attack people. That's their go-to weaponry. They try to utilize stuff like that. And man, you talk about, again, as they should have learned from court, but they don't read documentation. The judge made it very, very clear that calling somebody a PDF file, attaching things like that to their names, these are things that you don't have to even prove damages on, because a person understands the damage with that. They understand there is no other motive besides trying to do damage. And those are the kind of things that get you wrecked. So it wasn't like some random jackass out there either. Like I said, it was John Cook himself. So way to go on that, John. Way to go. Very, very dumb move. But like I said, you know, again, excuse me for saying it this way, but what exactly would be the, you know, like I said, people will be like, sue them. What exactly would you get from a white trash piece of shit like John Cook? What would I gain from that? You know, I would gain spending a lot of money, and my name, I can clear it myself. I don't have sponsors and shit to destroy, or a business. Like I said, they really did Jeremy Hill stuff in, you know, but they don't have anything I can take from me. But I think it does work as a weapon later on. And it also tells me something. It tells me, I find that really interesting about John Cook too, considering the allegations that have been out there against John Cook from the person that lives there. Now, when I spoke to her, she tried to walk a lot of that back. She said, you know, as far as the kid, oh, the kid's fine. Oh, he's great. So she tried to walk that back when we ourselves talked. So I do want to make that notation clear. But she has made plenty of allegations about him, depending on if they're useful or not. Again, we saw the letter for Shara, for example, what she was shopping around with that. We've also seen just some of the other stuff, and he still lives there. I mean, I could not imagine having somebody come at me like that and still just sit on the sidelines and pretend that they're a man. While, again, the worst things possible, they just sit there and pretend, oh, none of that happened. And the ecosystem does too. The wildest thing about Michelle's statements about John Cook is that she also pretends that none of that, I mean, none of it happened. All of them, they all pretend. If you missed that, by the way, for some reason, you know, this is the same guy. Again, 1 second here. Let me pull this up. I find it fascinating that we're talking about the same person that Michelle Preston, of course, wrote these things, you know. You have to realize, too, that John likes me isolated. He thinks I'm going to let him spend time with the baby alone. And I'm not, because the baby said something to me. And after she said what she said, I'll never leave him alone with her again. Not to mention the fact that one of the allegations that was made with CPS was that he redacted, I'm going to say, redacted, you can see the word, her. Well, that allegation was made because I told Tree Stranger, we know what that's supposed to be, that I don't like it when his shorts hike all the way up and his show and the baby is right there. And when I tell him to knock it off, he tells me to shut the F up. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And I tell him, don't let the baby play with your chest hairs. Don't go under the covers. And don't kiss the baby on the mouth. And he tells me to shut up. He's not one of my effing certain type of offender husband, but I'm telling you why. Would my daughter say what she said, and I can't prove it, so I can't turn him in, and I'm not turning it in because I don't want to lose my daughter, but I'll keep her away from them with my life. Those are the allegations against John Cook, you know, and again, by the person they said is 100% believable. You know, like I said, they told me to listen and believe. I've always made my stance on that clear, just to make this note. I don't listen and believe. I like to know there's evidence with something. But people have told me again and again with those folks that Lynette Preston, we've got to listen and we've got to believe. Unless it comes to them, you know. You believe everything she says unless she says that they stole $100,000 from her or she contacted CPS. You know, don't believe any of that. But it's funny. They go on to, I think it's funny too, you know. Gabby complains that he falls asleep while listening to Tug. Well, you know, I'm going to say when you take a week's worth of your quote unquote prescription medication, I'm going to say anything can put you to sleep unless it's a horrible squelching wail. Anyway, I think I will go over that transcript for tomorrow. I think it'll be a really interesting discussion. It'll point out a lot of absurdity and lies, but I'm going to tell you again, if you have not, you know, they always tell you to. All of them, don't believe Tug. Never believe him. Oh, he's an idiot. He's a liar. You know, I bring you their own voices. Like I said, I bring you Lynette's statements herself. Oh, no. You can't believe that. Remember, they told you the deflection to go away from that. It's supposedly not a conversation with me in it. Supposedly, according to them, it's a conversation between her and Tina. That was their big go-to. All right. Well, again, Tina's in the conversation, but they're telling you it's real. So the allegations are real. All these statements are real, but, you know, don't worry about it for part of the narrative. So I think that'll be fun to go over. It's so crazy. Anyway, let's do some super chat reading. You know, oh, we could go on with that. Oh, by the way, this is very random. I've been reading a book that, well, when I say reading, I've been listening to a book because, you know, right now I haven't really been reading anything, but I've been listening to a very fascinating book. It's called The Writing of Groundhog Day. You know the movie Groundhog Day? Like I said, this is random, but I want to throw this in here. The movie with Bill Murray where he repeats the same day over and over again. Now, I'm going to ask you in the chat because I'm curious. I figure most of you have probably seen this movie. How long do you think Bill Murray repeated the same day? Any of you that have seen that, what is your take on how long he repeated that? I'm curious. I'm going to give it a minute because I want to see like the different time the different time aspects. Like how long do you think that he was stuck on that same day before everything gets fixed? You know, I'm just curious. I'm giving it like I said, I'm giving it a few. Now, a lot of people, when they watch the movie, they assume that he's stuck there for months, like a month or two, right? That's a general consensus. But here's a problem in that. If you look at it, he picks up certain skills. Like he masters playing the piano. Now, the writer talks about how mastering specific skills, they take, there's a famous quote talking about it, saying it takes around 10,000 hours to master a skill. And he doesn't master just one skill. He knows how to ice sculpt with a chainsaw. He speaks French. There's all these skills that are showcased. Now, through that alone, you would be talking about not months, but years. And the way that the initial writer envisioned it, he would be stuck for longer than a human lifespan. And I thought that was interesting because when you think about it, again, Bill Murray, if he's only stuck there for a couple of months, he tries some pretty awful things to himself. He tries to quick himself. Yeah. If he's only stuck in there a couple of months, like, why so desperate? Like right off the bat, why does it wear on you within just a couple of weeks or a few weeks? But if we're talking 100 years, that's definitely a much darker story, So I thought that was an interesting reading. If you ever really thought about that movie, I'd never really thought about it in terms of like how much time. Because when you start thinking about it in terms of how much time, it becomes a very, very dark story. Especially, like I said, if you're stuck 100 years repeating that same day in the middle of nowhere, in a place where almost no one knows your name at all, and you have very limited access to certain things, that would be crazy. Apparently, the guy who wrote it, he had written some other stuff. I've been watching videos and other things as well. And he had written another screenplay where they would track time by going in and reading a page out of a bookshelf like each day. It's talking about with Groundhog Day. So he goes in, he finds a bookshelf, and again, he just reads page to page to page to page, just one a day. That's how he keeps up with it. And apparently when he puts all the pages together, the way he keeps up with it, it would be something like 120, 130 years. So anyway, that was random, but I thought I would throw that in. Like I said, I got that. It's just a random thing I was listening to. And I thought, man, that's really dark. All right, let's do this. Rozilla's Rail, thank you for the 2 there. Just testing out my improved avatar. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That is beautiful. You know what? You don't even need that much tape with that. That's amazing. Love it. Cindy, what's up, Cindy? Thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tug's Thugs. Thank you. Appreciate that, by the way, Cindy. I hope everybody's having a great one, by the way. Hope everything's going good. Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you very much, Fallen Hero. Appreciate you. Like I said, as always, here all the time. And always notice. Thank you, my friend. Jack Small gifted a membership there. Thank you, Jack Small. I hope everything's going okay with you, by the way. Hope everything turned out good. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. Now, I thought it could be Lisa be using LP's Facebook account. Hey, I actually think LP is using the Facebook AI. The more I look at a lot of stuff, because again, if you look, her ability to type coherently starts to go out the window. It goes from making an easy rational statement, and like I said, it just deteriorates. It depends on how mad she is. And we were talking about that yesterday. I thought that was a really good point, because she went from, I strongly disagree with your assessment, to typing thing with typos and the punctuation, it deteriorates. It looks more like her typing. She's like, dame on you instead of shame. And I'm not saying anything about I typo plenty of stuff. If you look at mine, I do too. But I also don't use AI to come up with my posts. So, but yeah, I don't think that's it. I think that's, I just think she's using AI personally, but it is interesting, isn't it? Inspire, what's up? It's good to see you. Thanks for the 10 months. The shit's soup is getting thicker. Indeed. These people, man. God. It's also, like I said, it's interesting that all of this insanity comes together, and they want to play this game. They want to pretend, again, that they're all singing Kumbaya and hand holding, when, I mean, what was weird about Lynette when she wanted to talk? She had to make it a secret, because if John Cook found out, that'd be very bad. She wanted to do all of that. And, like I said, I kept my mouth shut for a long time. I just do not appreciate people telling me that they're going to sue me, and that they're accusing folks of things like cyber stalking, and they talk about the kid. Again, she gave myself, Megan Fox, she gave us a get out of lawsuit free card with that kind of garbage, because she doesn't believe it. She made contact. She 100% does not believe any of those things that they said that they would sue over. They made that clear, but they also made it clear. She made it clear that she hates all of them. That includes John Cook. She hates John Cook. I thought that was really interesting. I think it's interesting the ecosystem chose John Cook over her too. Travis, thanks for the 5. Someone wants to fight, tell Jeremy I'll be his replacement. I love the old violence, you say, and it has been a good while since the last time I fought. I'm 6 foot, 150 pounds. I tell you, if we were just talking about like online disagreements, man, I'd be, if people wanted to do that, that'd be their thing. I'd be okay with that. The thing that I find awful with this stuff is, again, they have made some pretty heinous allegations, and I think they're dangerous. I think that if Jeremy Hales were to turn up at a place where there's a lot of people, I think his life would be in danger, And I think that anyone that has been keeping up with things that have happened recently, I mean, again, we had a very high profile issue with Charlie Kirk. It was so terrible. Again, it doesn't matter if you like or dislike a person either. The extremes some people will lead crazy folks to it's unreal. And I think the things that they have alleged about Hales are so heinous that I think that somebody, again, you never know what kind of unhinged weirdo that'll speak to. I mean, we've already seen some pretty unhinged weirdos join the fray. So, but yeah, if it were just a normal thing, oh yeah, 100%. By the way, man, I appreciate you. I'm sure they think they're all amazing and brave until, for me, I've made it clear. Like I said, I take anything like that. Somebody wants to come up to me and make threats of any type of physicality toward me, I'm strapped. I don't play. I don't play at all. I would say that they have been warned. They've not been asked to be around me. So for them to even fantasize, it's wild too. Because like Miltoast, for example, is just sitting around fantasizing about doing violence to Jeremy Hales. It's wild stuff. He's like, it's just good fun. Is it really? Again, dude's in the middle of a lawsuit against you. Is that good fun? Because I don't think I consider that good fun. You know, of course. Remember, them talking about serving him was a threat. That was a threat. But talking about, you know, wanting to do physical harm, wanting to get in the ring, you know, and again, put somebody at danger. Well, talking about, you know, they'd like to pummel someone. After, again, you know, after paint chips are talking about beheading and stuff. Come on, man. It's just nuts. It's Sean. Thank you for the 5 giftos. I loved it. I got to see those all fall in too. And again, people are so appreciative of that kind of stuff. So thank you. Thank you for backing the channel. Thank you for being here. But also, thank you for giving other people too. Appreciate that. Travis, thanks for the 2. Make it MMA. I'll take my fake leg off. I see you popping that off and they'd be like, what you want now? Oh, it's hilarious. I love it. I hope you're doing good, man. You and yours, by the way, buddy. William, thanks for the 5. Come on. You can take on a sepsis crotch wrap. I'll step to the side. Oh, John Cook, man. John Cook's a big talker anyway. You know, you saw when John Cook, he wanted to talk a bunch of shit. And then, you know, he wanted to start something with Travis. And then Travis turned the camera on and he was like, what's up? Essentially. And, you know, John Cook scurried away like a little cockroach. That's just amazing there. It's so funny though. Jimmy, thanks for the 5 there. Isn't the first rule of Fight Club? Yeah, not to tell everyone you're in one. That's right. These fools can't even do that right. Indeed. Oh, God, that'd be the saddest Fight Club. You know, it would be. William, thanks for the 5 there. I'd pay to see Stupid Dave versus Fleesa. My money's on Fleesa. The coughing fits would be epic. Oh, God. Can you imagine all the mucus? Gross. Stupid Dave would be panning. Fleas would be coughing up freaking mucus. Oh my God, gross. That's what always got me too. You know, when they put up the image, the germ, you know, that they used with Jeremy, I always thought that was funny because I didn't imagine it as Jeremy. I figured it was whatever she was coughing out of her lungs that was on the screen. You know, I figured that was just a byproduct of her mucus-laden fits. Ugh. That would be funny though. Scott from Weston, how you doing, man? I hope you, by the way, did not get hit like those the Middle Tennesseers did. Lord. So in Middle Tennessee, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but this is nuts. 450,000 people are in the greater metro area of Nashville. 230,000 of them lost power. Over 100,000 still don't have power. It's going on a week now. They turned away in Tennessee. They turned away over 300 linesmen that came in to try to help from out of state. And people in Tennessee are flaming mad. Oh my God. We're going on a week, you know, and they just found a 91-year-old man deceased. He was in his home. It was 47 degrees. He had been there for days. He froze. So if you also, I guess this bears repeating too, if you know, if you know anybody from any of these areas that have been hit, if you know anybody that's elderly, especially anybody, but especially elderly folks, check on them, make sure they're okay. You know, make sure they don't need something. And you know, if you find that you can't get a hold of them or anything, no, maybe we can see if we can get somebody to that area. I worry about that for people. But Scott, thanks for the 10 there. I would trust Bernie Madoff with my money before I trust this dude. I always thought he had the perfect name, though. You know, Madoff with my money. You know, it makes sense. If I heard a guy, he was like Madoff. If I heard that name and he was like, you can trust me, I'm not going to run with your money. I'm like, yeah, there seems like a problem there. I really, for a while, I got obsessed looking at information about Bernie Madoff. One of the things, you know, the guy who complained about it, he turned him in several times. If you don't know, Bernie Madoff is He is, if not the biggest, one of the, I would say the biggest Ponzi schemer ever. You know, even if people come up with more money later on, this guy he basically helped build the modern stock systems like we've seen them. So this guy had influence everywhere. But the guy turned him in. He made one really good statement about Bernie Madoff that always stuck with me. How did he know that it was a scam? Because he never lost money. All of his returns, they reminded me of that game on The Price is Right, you know, where they yodel and they go up the hill, you know, the mountain, yodel, and they keep going up that incline. You know, if anything continues to rise like that, never loses money, it's a scam. But yeah, for sure, I would still rather trust that with money than them, for sure. Rob, thanks for the 5. This Kimberly chick has tricks. Yes, there are enough weird ecosystem folks that would pay her for them. Yeah, that's true. She did say that. That is a bizarre statement. Lorraine, thanks for the 5 there. With dancing donations to got your grade. You keep me entertained. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I really liked seeing Miltoast talking about this stuff. It really made me laugh. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying this. Emma, thanks to everything these people do is dumb. That feels like it is a constant. It very much is a constant. When I think brain trust, I don't think anti-Hales, you know? I mean, even their best quote unquote journalist writers, you've seen the things they kick out. It's just terrible, paltry work. The one thing that I caught from Paint Chips, that was like, well, he's right on that. They were asking him for legal advice, by the way, which is funny. But during stuff, they were like, is there any way that someone could go after Hales because of the memorial bench? And he was like, no, it's his property. He can put whatever he wants. Absolutely. You know, it's just hilarious that they are so butthurt about the bench that never was, the memorial to that they want to go after Hales in court over it. It's like, you know, if you did that, by the way, it'd bring up some really interesting questions about donations and other things. I don't think you thought that one through, but you're welcome to try. I mean, again, it goes back to what Emma said. Everything these people do is dumb. Jay, I did think this was funny. By the way, I do want to laugh at it again. He said, thanks for the 5 there. He's like, they mentioned I have to fight Tory, and I already got HIV. Oh, poor Jay. Poor Jay. It's so funny. James, thanks for the 2. I'm too old to fight. That's why I carry. Indeed. I'm too old to really look at idiots like this and to bear responsibility for their stupid. I'm not taking it on me. You know, if some moron wants to come up and they want to do something like that, I'm not tolerating it. Like I said, the majority of the time I have a child or 2 children with me. I don't tolerate that kind of stupidity. I take people at face value. When they say they want to do violence to me, I take them at their word. You know, I'm not going to be like, put up your dukes. I also don't trust these people, you know, because they 100%, if they were losing a fight, God knows what they would try to do to you, you know, if they didn't try to do it already. But again, you know, a lot of these folks, they're not the kind to put in their own work either. They just have some crazy person do it for them. Andre, thanks for the 2 there. Banana cream filled breadsticks, the fancy kind. That's very fancy. I don't know if I like that idea. Banana cream filled breadsticks. It doesn't sound delicious. Oh, dude. Travis, thanks to. Well, John don't like women, like prison. That's right. He should he says he doesn't mind prison though. Maybe he doesn't mind it because it gives him time away from Lynette. You know, when he talked about going over to jail for, what was it, 40 days? He said he didn't mind that at all. When I thought about that, I was like, well, maybe that's because Lynette wasn't there. I mean, you know, it's the give and take. I mean, sure, it's prison, but at the same time, I mean, look at what's at home. Ugh, sounds pretty awful for both of them, by the way. The Kiwi Crypt Keeper, thanks for the 2 there. Tina should bring witness intimidation charges. You know, ultimately what you find, though, is that law enforcement just doesn't care. I mean, it's an ugly thing that you find out, that when people harass or do all kinds of crazy shit, threats. I mean, like I said, I've had people threaten some awful stuff. I had a guy come to our town and say he was going to do some pretty heinous shit. You know, usually they're like, well, they don't live here, therefore, you know, we don't consider that credible. But when you have somebody come, they still don't care. I just don't care. You know, maybe they do in certain places, but a lot of places they don't. And that is a sad reality. That's also why I'm strapped, because, you know, I'm going to watch out for me and mine. If other, you know, I can't depend on them. And again, they don't have to. That's the sad thing. They don't have to. Emma, thanks for the crusty Mike. Gross indeed. They should put chicken skin on it and try to beat the coffee. Maybe that's what she uses for, you know, one of those those little filters. I've got one of those pop filters on. Maybe she uses a chicken skin pop filter. It's so gross. And what's up, Palmer? Not Archer. Archer's Homestead. Thanks for the 2. There's not a statement, man, but that is a statement. Thank you. I appreciate you, my friend. Puzzle Puzzler, thanks for the 20. Practicing on how to give money to Megan for her birthday. Hey, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to do something. I'm going to have a pre-birthday stream for Megan, and I'm going to monetize it. Remember, she was complaining about Jay. So in honor of Jay, tomorrow I'm going to celebrate Megan's pre-birthday. That's going to be my grift tomorrow. So if you'd like to join, I'll be like, yay. It's Megan's pre-birthday. Woohoo. So we're going to have a celebration. Maybe I will do that. That might be funny. Jax Bob, thanks for the 10 there. Remember when Lynette was getting a lawyer for herself, not John? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, that is indeed correct. You are right. She was going to throw Crook under the bus. Yep. Then he went to jail and sobered up to be her soulmate again. All right, my stuff, long day. Yeah, I hope it turned out okay. Yeah, any day you have to deal with that kind of, it's always a long day. But yes, I remember when, you know, the whole ecosystem, it was really interesting because that was right before the major cracks they showed up, you know, with all the main people on the microphones. I'm not talking, I mean, it's obviously a major crack when they're throwing John under the bus, but remember that. You know, it is a good note because she was talking about, she wanted her own lawyer, not one for him. She wanted her own lawyer. She wanted to separate away from him. And Bruce and all the others, they were talking about that too. Well, there's been so many weird twists and turns in this story. There's been so many attempts to like vilify and to throw other people under the bus. It's just amazing to watch, isn't it? But you take care of you. Appreciate you too. Travis, thanks for the 2 there. I like fists over bullets, and I carry 2. Yeah, I used to not mind getting in a little, you know. I feel too old for it, you know. My body's like, nope, you ain't doing that, sir. Puzzle, thanks for the 5 there. Flipside makeup stream made me think of the Airplane movie with the women trying to put on lipstick in the bathroom during rough flying. I could see that. That was such a bizarre stream. And anything, here's their problem. Anything that you put online yourself, it is open to scrutiny, whether they like it or not. People, and again, we're not talking about somebody pulling up a random makeup streamer and laughing about something they do. I mean, these are awful people. Like, she just finished talking about monetizing off of accusing Hales of them of horrendous stuff. So, I feel no qualm about talking about how terrible they are. But yeah, they're so weird and dumb too. Jennifer, what's up? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate you there. That's a cute picture, by the way. Travis, thanks for the 5 there. I'm great, brother. Health issues, but still can take on these fools. And Dad's cancer is apparently back in his lung. Oh man, that sucks, brother. So I set it up between his surgeries. That sucks, dude. That stuff is so hard to deal with. Again, I'll keep you in prayers, man. And again, show up, goof off, laugh at these stupid people. Take that moment out of your day. And I like to, if I'm having a shitty day, I watch the chaos that unfolds around them too. It's kind of like my diversion away from stuff. It's a fun one. It's like a show that never ends. So, yeah, but love you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. Emmy, thanks for the 5 there. What was that old TV show on people losing weight? Oh, The Biggest Loser. Yeah, can we put these losers on something like that? Yeah, it's like I said, I've put on weight. I've been with this stuff. I mean, you do like when you can't do as much. So, but the problem is, they pretend they have this weird fascination, thinking that they're better than other people. And that's the strange thing. I've watched them make fun of so many people about appearances and more. And that's one of the reasons, we started calling them the Fats or the Walrus or whatever, because, they would treat people like absolute trash. They would mock and deride them. And it's like, have you ever, then we saw again, you look up Loofah Mobile owner and you'll find 2 people. I don't want to pull the picture up because there's people standing outside of it and they're just random people. But if you look that up, just do a Google search, you'll find again, one picture there out of all of them that'll have a man and a woman standing outside of it, like posing, and inside of it you can see the driver. And if you zoom in, I mean, we are talking about, God, it looks so ghoulish. It doesn't even look like a person. Certain person is driving. Look at them. I mean, them making fun of it. I mean, it looked like a horror movie freaking ghoul. No joke. Like, not even being mean about it. Just like for real. It was so bizarre. Let's see. Oh, man. Hey, I got a, wow. Man. That's wild. All right. Ian, I'm going to first name there. Thank you. Sent for Family Generator. Sent $131.29. Lord, man, that's wild. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. From the UK. That's big. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very much so. That's awesome of you. I need to get the place wired up, especially after what happened with, again, we're looking at people in Tennessee that have been without power, like I said, for a week now. Good Lord, man. That's just unreal, especially with the temperatures. Currently it's like, let me see what it is right now. Currently it's 25 degrees. So, if you've been without power that long, even with a structure, it's going to be pretty cold. So thank you, though. I appreciate it. Very much so. Appreciate all of y'all too. Tomorrow we will be back with it. We'll have some fun, but I am going to I think Jay is on. I haven't done a redirect. I'm just going to go and sit down for a minute. I'm kind of feeling blah. So I'm going to end here. Again, you over check out Jay. Appreciate Appreciate you folks. Again, tell them Tug sent you. And we'll see you. Thanks.